Senator just stuck a knife in Trump's back, and the shocking video is going viral. President Trump may have a lot of work to do before the swamp is drained, but certain party members are making it much easier to choose who gets the boot. Senator Susan Collins, too difficult to say if President Trump will be 2020, I'm sure. GOP Senator Susan Collins, Republican of Maine, showed the world where her loyalties lie on Monday, using an interview with MSNBC Haley Jackson to gripe about our president and drop a bombshell regarding the 2020 elections. When asked if she believes President Trump will be the party's nominee in 2020, Collins offered zero support for Trump and his administration, even to the point of admitting that it's too difficult to say. But this shouldn't be much of a shock coming from Collins, who took the rare opportunity in front of cameras to twist the knife further. I didn't support the president when he was our party's nominee, Collins says. When asked if other Republicans should step in to prevent Trump from gaining the nomination, it was a very difficult position for me to take. I'd never taken it before. Collins clearly isn't content with taking only her vote from President Trump. She wants to rally other professional politicians to betray our commander-in-chief. It is exceedingly unique for an incumbent president to receive a primary challenge, with the last occurrence being conservative staple Pat Buchanan challenging former President George H.W. Bush during the 1992 election. Unfortunately for Collins and her two-faced friends, President Trump has a rock-solid grip on his base of dedicated supporters. There is no doubt a primary challenge against President Trump would be party suicide, and the last thing this country needs is a Democrat in the White House, that's for sure. I think it's time people start picking a side that will move this nation forward. If the GOP continues to fight within itself, the important issues our president has been fighting to address will continue to fall by the wayside. Are you all sick and tired of hearing these indecisive backstabbers pick on the righteous leaders of our country? You should take a listen to this idiot here.
President Trump from some voters here in Maine. Republican Senator Susan Collins of Maine may have some as well for the president. She is joining us exclusively now. Senator, thank you for being with us here.
Well, welcome to Bangor.
Thank you. I want to talk a lot about some of the key issues happening in Washington, but I have to start with the news of the day, which is what's happening in Afghanistan. You have watched this war play out for 16 years. Are you confident that the president can execute some kind of a successful strategy if it means increasing the number of troops on the ground?
Well, we need to hear the strategy that the president's going to present tonight. I will say two things, and that is that in the past 16 years, our efforts in Afghanistan, which have cost the lives of so many troops, have lacked focus. There hasn't been a strategy. And second, we need a strategy that is going to deal with the influence of countries like Pakistan, like Iran, like Russia.
So if the president decides to stay the course, as he may do, is that enough for you?
I'm worried about that because if you look at a map of Afghanistan, the Taliban has made enormous gains in the last couple of years. And I don't want Afghanistan to be a safe haven for terrorist attacks the way that it was prior to the attacks on our country on 9/11. But this is a very difficult issue, and I'm glad that there's been a detailed analysis of what to do. That's what we've needed.
I know that you will be watching that address today, as will people across Maine. It will likely be on the front page tomorrow, but what was on the front page today? I want to show you of the Bangor Daily News here, where the protests in Boston over the weekend. Charlottesville and the aftermath of what happened there have been driving a lot of the national conversation, and in the wake of that, your Republican colleague, Senator Corker, questioned President Trump's competency. Senator Tim Scott said the president had compromised his moral authority. What do you say about the president's response?
The president had an obligation, a moral obligation, to speak with absolute clarity from the very beginning and stick with that, not shift back and forth, to denounce the neo-Nazis, the white supremacists, the anti-Semitism that we heard. And unfortunately, he wavered back and forth. There are no good neo-Nazis.
So what does that say to you about his leadership?
In this case, I think the president failed to meet the standard that we would have expected a president to.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hazelman.
So in other words, what did she just say? That only the neo-Nazi, the KKK group, right? In other words, she left out Antifa. So right then and there, we know she's compromised, you see? And did you hear how she was speaking? Did you hear how she was speaking? This woman is not a Republican. She's as Republican as John McCain is Republican. There's two sides to this disturbing fact. Both sides, like Trump came out and said, both sides are just as responsible. We don't condone any kind of hate and violence with the protesting. Bottom line, that's what it is. So look at this one, only talking about one side. There are two sides that are fighting. Oh, so in other words, the other side is in total clear. They're in the clear. They're correct. Tearing down monuments, throwing bottles of urine at police officers. So they're correct, right? I mean, does this make any sense? We are living in a world where up is down and down is up. I mean, it's insanity at its finest. That's what I have to say. Let me know.